Today is the day. In 2021, Ange Postecoglou came walking into Celtic Park, and it was the last time that the Rangers actually beat us. They currently hold the record of 117 trophies, championships and things like that, and they say that they're the most celebrated club in the world. Celtic win this today, we're going to win the Scottish Cup, and then we've already got the league in the bag. We're one away. It's not so much a gap, it's so much of a when it happens, not if it happens. And then that'll make Celtic, Glasgow Celtic, the most famous, well-known club in Scotland and around the world, the most successful club in the world. Today we play the Rangers, and Michael Beale's got it right up against them. It's monstrous if it's defeat, and the most successful club in the world mantle is about to get ripped down from the inside of Ibrox within the next 24 months, 12 months even, 12 months. We'll say 12 months because it will happen. Rio Hatate, he's bound to start today. He could be the new midfield maestro for Celtic if he terrorises the Rangers again. If you remember, his first game against the Rangers was a 3-0 gubbin, and he scored twice. He scored a cracker from outside the box. We'll be looking to score goals like that today because they are going to sit pretty deep and try and hit us on the edge. The team for today, I think, is going to be really the strongest team that we can put out. Ange Postecoglou has also spoke about Kobayashi, Iwata and O biding their time at Celtic, and this is going to, when we look after today, will take care of itself. Whatever happens today will happen, and the manager is of that thinking, and he's looking at the squad he has just now, and he's looking at the bigger picture, and he's looking into the start of the Champions League next year. You're going to have these boys that are right up for proving themselves at the highest level, and there's been a few comments by Seth Conian saying that the manager will be away, he wants to go to the English Premier League. No, he doesn't. He wants to test himself at the highest level. He's better than the Championship and all this nonsense. They wish for more than anything that he goes this summer. He will not go this summer. The Celtic manager, Ange Postecoglou, wants to test himself against the best in Europe. And the best in Europe is in the Champions League. The best in Europe is not in the English Premiership or any other league. It is at the highest level, and it is he can achieve his goals in football with Celtic. Cameron Carter-Vickers, Carl Starfelt, Carl McGregor, Rio Hatate will be in the midfield today. Kyogo will be up front with Jota, Dice and Maeda. The other side of him, it's the Celtic manager did go on to say Kobayashi, Iwata and O have all shown promises, glimpses in their limited time at Celtic. Since their arrival in January, they've cemented themselves as first team regulars and they've done really well. But Postecoglou insists that each player will prove their worth and get game time they desire as the demands for the club's fixture schedule ramps up around about August and September later in this year. Of the guys who came in January, Alistair Johnson has been unusual because apart from Joseph Juranovic leaving, Tony Ralston's been injured, and I think Tony Ralston would have cemented himself in the team right after Christmas. I think he's just been a little bit unlucky. If you look back at the start of the year, we had Cameron Carter-Vickers was injured, Carl Starfelt was injured for a length of time, so we keep all these players fit going into the summer, and we have players that can fill their gaps quite easily now, which is good for us. But if you look at this summer, we're going to go into the Champions League, we're going to go into the preparations for the Champions League in a fantastic place. And the fact that this Asia tour of Japan and tour of Asia was supposed to be announced by Celtic yesterday, but they've held off. I think they'll probably release that information on Monday if we win the game today. They want to keep the good news stories going. There's no use releasing that on a Saturday when it was suggested that they were looking to get that information out there. Today is the fifth derby between Celtic and Rangers this season, and we haven't done too bad. Kyogo is certainly one that's lit up the fixture, and I think he will do outstanding this weekend. I think today, few hours away, he will score this afternoon. I'm going to say he will score. He will want to get his 50th goal in Celtic wrapped up against them. He wants to go down in the record books. John Collins was the last player to score. John Collins' free kicks. That's one thing you need to remember about John Collins. He could score a free kick. He could score free kicks well before the likes of Pierre Van Hooijdonk came into the club and scored absolute screamers of free kicks. What can we say about the game? All I'm going to say is stay safe if you're going to the game. Enjoy yourself. Tell me what the weather's like in Glasgow before the game. It's just one of those days where it's like, it can happen. We're that close. And if we do it, it's on to the final. And it's on to the final in Cali, Inverness Cali Thistle. By the way, if you don't know if you watched their game yesterday, or if you watched the highlights, I watched the highlights before I did the recording for this video. And their strikers were terrorising the defenders. So whoever gets through to the final today will not have an easy game, to say the least. I think they hit the post a couple of times. They were unlucky for it to only be 3-0 against Falkirk. The striker that they've got ripped apart the defence, and that's a bit of worry for me, because you do get Carter Vickers and Starfelt quite a bit apart sometimes, and he basically just ran through and he scored a cracking header right in between the two of them. So whoever gets through today, it will not be an easy game. They will want an increased allocation from the half-empty stadium that they had yesterday, but it will be what it will be. Just get the job done today, Celtic, and then take that one step closer to taking that 117 total off that club from across the road.
Lit. Roll up to the party, roll up to the party, roll up to